Hey everyone, this is Kaelin Anderson and welcome back to my channel, Pour Special Events. Today I want to talk about a couple things. The first one specifically is navigating your clients, understanding who your client is, but also being aware of who ultimately is paying for your services, what input they have on the services you're going to be providing, and kind of how to navigate some interesting relationships. So for instance, when it comes to mother of the bride or mother of the groom, who is paying when it comes to the wedding and your bartending, and kind of how you navigate all of those things before you even get to just doing your mobile bartending business. So if you're interested in understanding how to navigate these tricky situations, stick around because I have some really, really fun, but also crazy conversations to share with you about how I'm navigating this as we're starting our 2023 season, and how this has come up now twice as we're beginning the season, which is not something we usually have to deal with. So let's get into it. I have noticed already that I have in this season, I have clients, so specifically for weddings, where family members are either possibly paying for their alcohol, paying for my services, and they feel that they should have a significant input on what is purchased or the drinks that will be made, and they may be clashing with that of the actual bride and groom and what they want for their day. So how do we do that? How do we navigate that? How does it not feel so, tricky? And then also, from another perspective, and not taking it personally myself as the business owner and that vendor and providing that service, because I've also had where I've gotten the phone call saying, when we did our pre-planning meeting, when you and my, bride, my daughter, my son, did the pre-planning meeting, it seemed like you asked lots of questions and all this stuff. And they said, we want to make sure that you really know what you're doing, even though you came highly recommended. And I just had to laugh. Because in my head, I'm asking a lot of questions to confirm that we are on the same page, to confirm that I'm providing the correct services, that I have the correct head count, all of these important things. And I will give you the questions that I ask. So if you need to check to see if you're asking those same questions or if you're missing anything, I will tell you all those questions here. But I had a mother of a bride call me and say, my daughter just felt that you asked a lot of questions, that maybe you weren't as prepared, for the phone call. And at first I was very again, defensive, because this business is my baby. I work super hard. I know I provide a phenomenal service, and they're now questioning 2 weeks out from their event if I'm the right person for them. And if you've been watching my videos and you know my personality, you're like, whew, she's not going to put up with that. And I'm not going to put up with it. So let me talk about how that conversation went, how I navigated those concerns. I talked with the mother of the client and kind of explained those things and how I think it's going to go over really well. Fast forward to this coming weekend when we do their event. So let's start there. Mother of the bride calls saying that, she's concerned, making sure that I have everything all together. Said, you did come highly recommended by the venue. I let her voice all of her concerns and I really listened to what she had to say. And then I carefully thought about how I was going to respond to those things. And here it goes. When I do a pre-planning meeting, and I'm actually going to make another video here, so stick around on the channel, look for it. I'm going to make another video that literally breaks down when I'm talking to a client, all the things that I'm asking, where I'm writing them down, how I'm writing them down, and kind of the flow that I go through to make sure I hit all of the things that we need. So I'm talking to the mother of that bride, and I'm looking at my crazy sheet of all of the things that I wrote down. And she quickly said, well, you asked a lot of questions, and it made my daughter feel that you weren't prepared. I'm just going to pause for a second. I asked a lot of questions, and it made them feel I wasn't prepared. I haven't spoken to them in almost a year when they booked initially. It's very important for me to ask questions such as, what is your total final guest count? Number one, that's super important, because if your guest count is different than when we projected a year ago, you may be overpaying for services that you don't need, and I want to make sure you get a refund. I also, if I'm doing your full mixer and consumables packages, want to make sure that I order and purchase the amount of mixers and consumables that we need, and we're not overbuying, we're not overspending. I need to know your timeline of your day, because it's very important for me to know when I need to be at your venue to set up, to have everything done perfectly and ready to go. I also need to know that timeline and what you're going to be doing on site versus maybe off site, because you do not want to be hearing your bartenders fussing with ice, like mixing up the ice or filling containers or, prepping things behind the bar, or popping champagne, or doing any of those things if your ceremony is on site and it's in the same space. I need to know what drink choices you're thinking of to be able to tell you how much alcohol to purchase. And chances are, if you already purchased stuff ahead of time and your guest count is much less than you had originally projected, you're probably going to have a good amount of the stuff that you need already. So if I don't tell you that you need 17 more bottles of something, it's because you don't. And I'm trying to save you money and trying to be helpful to you. So a lot of those things just kind of blew my mind. And I was like, oh, what? Now, all of those things that I'm telling you, if you're going to be that, business owner and you're doing this, you might think, well, yeah, they're necessities, right? We need to know those things. We need to have those questions answered. Sometimes I will ask those questions, and once I get the answers, I just keep rolling. I'm trying to be cognizant of their time and mine. Everyone is super busy. Everyone has a lot going on. Bartending, in my mind, is just one small portion of their giant, wonderful day. I'm sure they have a lot of other things to organize, especially if they're doing some things on their own, like DIY things. I don't need them to be on the phone with me for an hour, right? I just want to make sure I have all the pieces I need, answer any questions they may have, and then we're out. I go do my thing, and I meet them there, and we do it. And we try and make it as easy and as simple as possible, and we take that hassle off of the client. In this case, Mom really wanted that reassurance. She wanted the explanation to those things, because with me asking those questions, quickly getting the answers, getting that phone call wrapped up and moving on, she felt that I was not explaining, all of those things. So when I said to them, hey, I need the guest count because of this, you're now getting a $300 and some refund. I need the ceremony times, and if it's on site, because I want to be prepared before your ceremony even starts. So this way you can have your ceremony and we're ready to go. And if you need help with anything else, we're extra hands on deck to help with your special day, because we don't just hide behind the bar. We're in this to make these relationships, to help the other vendors, to help everyone on site. When we're there for your day, we're there for your day, not just for your bartending. And when I explained those things and reassured her of that, she's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not, I'm trying to help her and reassure her, and it's getting close to the date and we're getting nervous, and I just want to make sure it's perfect. I will tell you, if you're watching this and you're thinking about getting into this mobile event space and you're really going to cater to weddings, that is the hardest part of this career of building a mobile company around weddings, is that this is their one perfect day. I giggle and I joke that most of our clients are going to do this once, maybe twice, and they're trying to make it perfect. And maybe people around them that are helping them only have done it themselves for their weddings. So they have these ideas of what it's going to look like, or what they should or should not be doing or purchasing. And when you come into that situation as the professional, as the business owner, you have to very carefully explain your service, but hold true to what you do, and very honestly just say, hey, if I'm not explaining something correctly, or if you have more questions, please ask, but please let the professional handle this. You're paying me good money to take care of these needs, to do these things, and I'm sorry that I guess I didn't explain to you fully the breakdown of why all these questions were necessary. However, I'm trying to spare you the boring details, really is what it is. You don't need to know that I have to crack ice and make noise before your ceremony. You don't need to know that I'm lugging in all this stuff and it takes, 2 hours. I just need to know these things so that I know how long we need to prepare, and when we need to show up, and when all of those things, right? Because at the end of the day, you don't want them to feel like they're unimportant, but I've been to this venue 150 times. I know how long it takes me to drive there. I know how long it takes me to set up. I know how long it takes me to clean up, and I know how long it takes me to get home. And I know usually if we're doing a wedding there that day, we might be doing a wedding there the day after. We usually do a Saturday wedding and a Sunday wedding there. So if I know what we need and I'm very well planned ahead, I'll have everything prepared ready for that next wedding the next day, and I get to leave my stuff there and I just show up the next day and we go again. which is awesome as a business owner. And if you're creating your own mobile business, you really want to cater to those venues and those venue owners and those vendors that work there, because that is great business. That is great business to make. But again, we have to figure out that balance with the client to make them feel like they're heard and they're justified, but also reassure them that, like, you got this. Like, I'm not trying to make it sound unimportant, but I know what I'm doing and you need to let me do it. Again, lean on your other venue vendors. So like, there is an event planner working with us for this. I work with them all the time, and the owner of the event planning company happens to own the venue now. So I did reach out and say, hey, listen, there are some concerns. If there's anything brought up, please reassure them that, we've worked together a million times. I'm on it. All is well. And I already reached out myself saying that, when is the earliest you're going to be in there working with them, because I will come super early and have everything set up even earlier, just to show in good faith that we are really, really in it for this and we're ready to do this. Just to kind of keep those worries at bay, I guess is what I'm saying, because that shows the difference. And kind of alleviates those worries if they're seeing me like the day before and they're seeing everything set up and they really do have it and they're putting a face to a name and that kind of a thing. If they're getting set up the day before, I'm going to be there too. Because what's the extra 15-minute drive each way to get things organized, to make them feel better, and alleviate some of those worries on the day of. So I think that was kind of my craziest thing this week, is that, like, how do we navigate those conversations? And I did explain to the client's mother, I said, I have this conversation with my husband all the time that I need to remember that my personality is not those of everyone else's. I am super confident and organized, and I try to keep conversations at a minimum, just so that I don't overcomplicate things, because I know what I have and what I'm doing. If I have a question, I'll ask it of you, but otherwise I've got it. And sometimes people don't operate that way. They need reassurance. They need the extra conversations. So I have to remember to keep the conversation open with those clients, as you might need to as well. Because you might have clients that are like, awesome, here's your deposit, here's the date, here's whatever, we'll see you then. Cool, whatever you say goes. Great. That's awesome. But then you might have other clients that are like, okay, so when are you going to be there again? And are you sure you have this? And did you buy one of those? And, make sure that we have this, the iced tea in this place. Yes. So it's really just navigating those relationships, communicating with your clients, and making sure that they have everything they need so that they can feel secure and really enjoy their day. On the same kind of spectrum as that, another thing that you might see and you're gonna have to navigate is the clients whose parents are going to be purchasing their alcohol and who don't have much experience in this industry now. Some of them were in the phase of like all-inclusive, where everything was all in one package and you went to, some catering hall or something and they did everything. And now that they have to bring in a few things themselves and it's a barn wedding or a rustic wedding, they're panicking. Like, how do I help my child? How do I help my daughter-in-law or son-in-law? And so I received conversations from a parent saying, please, in confidence, can we navigate them away from a certain kind of drink? And the drink is supposed to be their signature drink. And I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. And the drink that she wanted to navigate them away from was literally the most popular drink that we do all the time. And I'm like, no, we do this all the time. And yes, do I get sick of it? Absolutely. Do I love the drink? Yes. Is it just knowing that it's like asked for 24/7? Yes. She thought it would be too hard to make. She thought that we would have tons of it left over and that she doesn't drink it, so she didn't want to have that left over, that expense for waste. And she was very concerned. So I emailed her immediately back and I said, hey, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about your concerns. Be more than happy to go over kind of the menu and what you're thinking. I understand what you're trying to work this out in confidence before you kind of figure out exactly what you guys are going to do, since you're the one spending the money. I said, however, the drink that she's asking for, a Malibu Bay Breeze, is super popular, super sweet, super refreshing, and I can guarantee you that as soon as one woman in the entire crowd has one. Every woman in the crowd will have one, and that will be your number one drink for the night. That will not be the drink that you're stuck with stuff left over. If anything, we will run out of it. And if you're still that concerned about that drink, and she is set on having it as a signature, I suggest purchasing that last, right before the event. In Pennsylvania, our wine and spirit stores, they have a return policy, a 14-day return policy of exactly how you paid in brand new condition. So any of the bottles that she does not use within the 14-day return period, you take your receipt back in and they will pay you back exactly how you paid for any unopened bottles. So I said, if you're going to buy other things ahead of time to offset costs, wait until those bottles right before, purchase them then, and then if you don't want to get stuck with anything that might be left over, you can take it back for a full refund of how you paid. Instantly got an email back saying, okay, we're doing her bridal shower. We have time yet. I'm sorry I was so worried. Thank you so much for alleviating, my worries. And I will be in touch. Maybe I will do that. I'll purchase those closer to the date. And we'll purchase the other stuff earlier. Done. Whew. So, I am here to tell you that you will be okay. You will navigate through all of these conversations. Your brain might feel like it's spinning, but that is why you are the professional. That is why you are the owner. That is why you are building your mobile bartending business or any kind of mobile business, whether it's coffee shops, mobile boutique. You're always going to be communicating with customers, clients. You're always going to be fielding those questions. And it's really just about how you communicate with others, how you sell yourself and your business, your company, and the services that you provide, and really just knowing what you provide and being able to project that effectively so that your ideal clients come to you. So I had navigated those 2 conversations this past week and really tried to make sure those things were going off swimmingly. And now I'm in the process, which I will share in a next video, of nailing down all of those things that we need, the mixers, the consumables, getting our purchase orders in, getting those things picked up, stocked, ready to go. And then I'm going to try and video the whole process of, when we get the trailer, when we pick the things up, when we drop the things off, while we're doing it, all of that, which I'm usually not good at because I'm just running, but I'm trying. So hopefully you will see those here soon. If this video was helpful at all, or if you have any other questions based on what I talked about today, please put them in the comments below because they're super helpful for when I'm creating new content for all of you. If you liked anything I had to say or had any thoughts about it, please put that down there as well. As always, if you could give me a like and a follow, I would really appreciate it because this channel has grown so much and I just love being able to help everyone on here with some of the things that I've navigated that maybe you will be able to kind of bob and weave around and not have to worry about as you are beginning or building your mobile business and your mobile company journey. So hopefully this helped. Thank you guys so much, and I will be batching some videos here today, so you will see me again here in similar attire for these next few, but stick around because the next ones I'm hoping to share with you are kind of when I'm speaking to a client, how I write everything down, what that looks like, how we figure out how much to get, and kind of making all of those preparations as we go. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.